Welcome back. It is yours truly, Nick, a Movie AV Impulse. And today I'm going to be doing something different. This video is probably not going to interest you, but I wanted to make a dedication video to somebody that I didn't speak to for a long time. And it's not because there was any family arguments or anything. It's kind of just because we lost contact with each other and life and things happen. So I recently got reconnected with my cousin Eddie, and we just been talking on the phone and throwing text messages around and just reminiscing. And me and my cousin were just two peas in a pod. We were the troublemakers of the family, and my uncle Carmelo can contest to this. We got our asses whooped all the time because we just did some crazy shit. But this video, I wanted to share with you guys that these are my top five, well, our top five TVs and movies that me and my cousin watched all of the time. And I mean, I think we wore the VHS out on two particular movies, and the other three were TV shows, and obviously we didn't do the whole VCR recording. But let me give you a little backstory first. My cousin Eddie, I used to sleep at his house all the time because his mom not really home too much. So we kind of took advantage of that, being teenagers and younger, adults, because back then we were able to be left alone at the house at the age of 12, 13, 14, and so on, because we just had three main rules. Don't answer the phone, lock the doors, and if somebody knocks, don't tell anybody that you're home alone. We just really took advantage of that, and my cousin Eddie's probably already cracking up watching this video. And, it just takes me back to memories, and this is one of the reasons why I want to make this video, and I'll probably be doing a few more of these. But the first one that I wanted to make is about my cousin Eddie and the movies and TV shows that we shared together all the time. And Eddie, I think you know what my number one is going to be, or our number one. But first, you know what's going to happen. We're going to get into that intro. And coming in at number 5. Now, back in our days, which is about 25 years ago, we had this thing called MTV, where they actually used to play music. And it wasn't all about reality shows. I mean, they had their reality shows, but it was more focused on music, and what music did and what MTV did for our culture is absolutely insane. But we used to watch a lot of MTV, especially Yo MTV Raps. And the reason why we used to do this, because me and my cousin Eddie, we loved raps, especially like if Loungin' came on by LL Cool J, man, we was all rapping it and doing all this crazy shit. And we just shared a lot of that. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I know you're probably going to blush on this one. But me and my cousin Eddie, we used to mimic the music videos. One of our favorite ones that I can remember is Puff Daddy and Mace. They made Don't Push Us because we're close to the edge. They remade that song, and they were like in the desert and walking, and it was just kind of like that crazy music video vibe. And me and my cousin Eddie, we used to actually like mimic that. And like when Mace's part would come on, I would be Mace, and he was always Puff Daddy because, I don't know, he was like the more like jiggy, cocky one, and I was more like the, I got the swagger too. So, it was just kind of like that. It was funny, and, that's just what we used to do. So that's coming in at number 5. We watched a lot of music videos. Coming in at number 4, and my cousin introduced this to me. We used to watch a lot of stand-ups. That's actually where the first time I seen Martin Lawrence's stand-up, You So Crazy. And we also used to sneak and watch Def Comedy Jam together. But that Martin Lawrence, You So Crazy was just at that time, we were actually like living in that life. You know, our parents were working so hard to provide us with just the minimum things. Like, so, you know, when Martin Lawrence was cracking jokes, like, you know, our moms would buy us Sykes, you know, we wanted Nikes, and she's just like, paint the damn N on it, nobody's gonna know the difference. But they really did. Like, there was a point where I had fake Timberlands and people noticed. It's like, it's insane how people notice, like, how you don't have a name brand but you got the knockoffs. And like back in the days, the Shaqs, man, if you had Shaqs, Jordans, Uptowns, Air Force Ones, like, you were considered like balling. Here I am, I'm wearing Converses and everybody's making fun of me, but that's just what I loved. I've always loved Converse. Even my cousin Eddie would tell you, Converse has always been my thing. So there was just a lot of moments that we used to crack up laughing at Martin Lawrence's "You So Crazy" stand up, because we were actually just really living that, you know, type of life. You know, we're out chilling and living it up, and then, you know, your parents get divorced and you're just like, back to the ghetto you go. Coming in at number 3, Martin, the TV show. We watched all the time. You know, that show was just hilarious to us. And like I said, at that time, growing up, I thought Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, like all those great comedians, even back then, like, because I didn't really understand most of the jokes until I got older, that Martin Lawrence was just like the best. There was like nobody above him. He just made the best comedies, the best stand-ups, and he's still one of the greats. He is definitely in a top 10 as far as stand-ups go. He is just hilarious. But we watched Martin all the time. We would just be on the couch, you know, waiting for it to come on. So many special guests on that show. I can't even start to name how many guest appearances were on that show. Coming in at number 2, and my cousin Eddie, this is, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have seen this movie until way in the future. And I didn't know that my passion for Michael Bay would even start at that young. But this one, when, you know, I was first introduced to it, it was through my cousin. I don't even know how he got his hands on the bootleg, because we had like the bootleg VHS, and it was like the shittiest version, but it's gonna be Bad Boys. We literally wore this tape out, and then when it actually came out on VHS, we bought it and just wore it out because we watched that all the time. You know, there was so many crazy lines in that movie. Like, me and my cousin used to go back and forth at family dinners and shit like that, and just be laughing our asses off because we kind of knew mentally what we were talking about through our minds, because we just thought alike. And it was just so hilarious to us that that movie just is a staple, man. And I just remember those nights where we used to break night and watch all these movies, and no matter what, Bad Boys was always one of the movies that we watched, and then we throw on something else until we fell asleep and woke up and did it all over again. And coming in at number 1, and you know, I gotta expose it, I'm sorry cuz, but you know, Saved by the Bell is going to come in at number 1. Me and my cousin Eddie, we watched this show from in the beginning. This show, Saved by the Bell, was everything to us. And I mean 100% everything to us. We literally mimicked everything that happened in this show, like from trying to go after the hottest girl to dressing like them. I even had the Zach Morris cons that he had on. I would do the slick back and the wave in the hair. Like, I wanted so bad to be Zach Morris. I was wearing the polo shirts and like just trying to look like him so much. And my cousin Eddie was doing the same thing. We used to have hair competitions. I said it. Hair competitions. That's how crazy obsessed we were with this TV show. I actually don't think we watched another TV show more than we watched Saved by the Bell together. Like, there were times where I used to rush over to his house before school or sleep over the night before and like watch Saved by the Bell with him in the morning while getting ready for school, going to school, coming back home, and watching another episode of Saved by the Bell, the rerun. It's crazy what your mind like locks into place in the memories that you hold with somebody special. And as far as like all of my family members go, every single one of them, like me and my cousin Eddie, we just held the most memories ever. And I will forever, ever love I'll forever love you, cuz, you know, I'm about to go into tears because of the shit that we shared, man. Nobody else in the family shared the same thing that we did, and we went through that struggle together, and we were getting our ass beat together. We were getting yelled at in Spanish, and we had no effing clue what we were getting yelled at about. And it was just, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I wouldn't trade it at all. And I wish we weren't so far away now, because it's just crazy how much I miss hanging out with you. But you know, we got families, you know, we're husbands, we're fathers, and you know, no matter what, we'll always be cousins. And I love you. And this is just something that I did for you, for me. And you know, if these memories ever get lost, YouTube is never going anywhere, at least I don't think. So for me, even when I get dementia and get old, this video will always be around to keep my memories. So I hope you enjoyed it, cuz, and this is just for you, man. No matter what, I just want to end this video with this. The people that you love, try not to take for granted. I know sometimes it gets really hard, but you never know when you're going to lose contact with them people or that person. And just always remember the good times and the bad, because it's those bad times that made the good times the best times of your life. And I hope you stuck with me to the end. Anyways, I will see you on Sunday.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.